6:58. Yeah, 6:58. Pardon me? Got it. We're going to get started, please, with 599. 599, please. America the Beautiful. 599. The rain held off for us, so when we pick up those kids, it's fine. I don't know what's going to happen when we take them home, but it is what it is, right? That's 599, please. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, purple mountains' majesty. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrim feet who turn in passion stress, for freedom beat across the wilderness. America, America, God mend thine every flaw. When will that happen? When will that happen? Mend thy every flaw. When will that happen? When we get a new president? No, when we get a new king, and that will be King Jesus, millennial reign of Jesus Christ. Verse number 3, please. 599, 599. Oh, beautiful for in liberating strife, who more than self our country love, more than America, America, gold refine till all success be nobleness and every gain be fine. Oh, beautiful for patriotry that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities clean. America, America, God shed His grace on thee. Our next song is 625. You're doing great tonight. 625, please. Thank you so much for all of you, those of you who are involved with picking up people. We worked it all out. Everybody who wanted to come, we worked it all out. 625, we're going to do a medley now. 3 or 4 pages in, starting off with 625. Isn't He wonderful, wonderful, wonderful? Isn't Jesus my Lord wonderful? Eyes have seen, ears have heard, is recorded in God's word. Isn't Jesus my Lord wonderful? Wonderful, wonderful, Jesus is to me. Counselor, Prince of Peace, mighty God is He, saving me, keeping me from all sin and shame.
Wonderful is my Redeemer, praise
His name,
precious
name, oh sweet, hope of earth and joy of heaven. Precious name, oh sweet, hope of earth and joy of heaven. Heaven is a wonderful place. song, please, is 483. 483, please. And you may be seated. If you like, sometimes we do this from time to time. If you want to stay standing, you can stand. I'm standing. Who wants to stand with me? Who wants to stand with me? All right, 483. 483. Nobody, huh? All right. Like. I'm sorry, Miss Jess. Like whatever. Yeah, I'm thinking, boy, I'm really messed up on this one. I tell you what, I don't know this song at all. 483, that's good. Thank you. No, we're good. All right, we got two. Who else is going to stand with me? Like a river glorious is God's perfect peace, over all victorious in its bright increase. Yet it floweth fuller every day, perfect yet it groweth deeper all the way. Hearts are fully blessed, finding as He promised perfect peace and rest. Hidden in His blessed hand, never foe can follow, never traitor stand. Not a shade of care, not a blast of hurry, touch the Spirit there. Hearts are fully blessed, finding as He promised perfect peace and rest. Ever joy or trial falleth from above, traced upon our dial by the Son of Love. All for us to do, they who trust in stayed upon Jehovah. For a job well done, please be seated. 413 is our last song. Faith is the victory. Thank you, Miss Jess, for playing with us this evening. Miss Macarella is with us this evening. She was going to be in the nursery, but she's online right now from Maine with Jazuri and the rest of the clan. So we sent them the lesson, and they got the lesson. They're with us this evening. They're going to have s'mores. Anybody want to join them for the s'mores? They're going to have the s'mores after the service, so if you can get up there in Maine, if you want to leave right now and get there in time, you're welcome to do that. Or we'll just have our own s'mores around here, huh? All right, 413. Who doesn't like s'mores? Anybody doesn't like s'mores? Who doesn't know what s'mores? You don't like s'mores, huh? Do you like pizza? All right. Anybody never have a s'mores? I never had a s'mores until about 10 years ago. I never knew what they were. They sure are good. They're not that healthy, but they are sure good. Once a year kind of deal. 413. Encamped along the hills of light, ye Christian soldiers rise and press the battle ere against the foe in veils below along our we know that overcomes the world. Faith is the victory. Faith is the victory. Wait a minute now. Whose faith? Whose faith? Whose faith is the victory? Whose faith is the victory? Okay, he's saying his. Whose faith is the victory? Galatians 2:20 is your hint. I think it's Galatians 2:20. Say it again. Nevertheless, I live, but not I, but Christ liveth in me. In the life which I now live by the faith of the I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. So, whose faith is the victory? Yours, ours? Well, it's Jesus Christ, right? His victory, because we live by the faith of the Son of God, right? Fair enough. Okay, very good. 413. Third verse. All right. To him who overcomes the foe, my raiment shall we give. Before the angels he shall know his name confessed in them. Then onward from the hills of light, our hearts with love aflame, will languish over in Jesus' conquering name. Faith is the victory. Faith is the victory. Welcome back. Thank you, Jessica. We'll receive your prayer request, please. I do have one for Mrs. Debbie Lloyd. She's okay. She fell off a chair. I don't know if she was sitting or standing. I don't know. You can ask her. I think she was standing. She was standing, and how many of you said, hey, I wonder if I should stand up on this chair and try this, right? Just for 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Who is? Okay, we'll write that down. Did you say Billy Paul? Oh, like your grandfather? No. What am I missing here with your grandfather? Bell. That's it, Bell. Okay. So now we're on track here. At least you are. I think I'm on track. Okay, so let's write this down. I'm going to write this down under Debbie's. And this is a health need, and it's Billy, B-A-L-L, ball, basketball. Okay, and he's having? Triple bypass. I can just hear you now, Desiree. You're yelling into your phone. No, ball. All right. I was messing around with an amplifier years ago in 1980s. It was a small scale amplifier, and I was turning it up, and all of a sudden I hear voices. It's 12 o'clock at night, and I'm in my church in Charleston, South Carolina, and I'm thinking, whoa, what was that? And then I realized I was getting feed, and it was a radio talk show from Air Canada, from South Carolina, Air Canada, and they were talking to Wayne Gretzky. Who knows who Wayne Gretzky is? So I think, I can't believe this. I said, what's going on here? I'm hearing this broadcast all the way from Canada. So I thought, maybe they can hear me. So I'm going to give the Plan of Salvation. And I did. So I talked to my brother later, and he chuckled. He says, well, what was happening was the amplifier was the microphone was the antenna going into the amplifier and coming out the speakers. That's what he taught me. But I had fun giving the Plan of Salvation. I thought maybe somebody would hear me. Well, unless somebody was walking by that church, that was the only person that was going to hear me. Anyways, Debbie falling off the chair. She's recovering. We're glad that she'll be okay. We move on, please. Sean would ask us to please pray. Alvarez? Okay. Alvarez family, and that is spelled Alvilez. That's the Alvarez family. Church van. Safe holiday weekend, yes indeed. And a general request for Kyle. So that's the Alvarez family, church van, safe holiday weekend, and Kyle. We also want to pray a health need for Millie, Dinah, and Kelly's continued improvement. Oh, nice. How's that going for her? How long will it take her to walk again? A month? Is this your niece? Shania that came with us, or was with us with Sean. How old is she? You tell her she's found this fountain of youth. I was having all the teenagers say hello to her. I really was. I was like, how old is this girl? 17, 18? That's what she wants to hear, right? When she's 13, she wants to hear that I'm 18. But when she's 23, she wants to hear I'm 18. Is that right, ladies? Am I right, ladies? Yeah? All right. Shania. Excellent. Also for Peter and Mark. Salvation for Shania, Peter and Mark. Lorraine is asking about the possibility of a strike. And she's asked, go ahead. Right. Praying that they don't have a strike. What union is this? Eight places here in Connecticut? Mm. Oh, of course. And where is this nursing home? Mm-hmm. What's the name of it? I'm just going to ask that question. Is this Apple? Change the name. Oh my, I can imagine. Okay. So that strike, today's the 26 days from now. Dane be traveling to his sister's funeral, and that would be Dane and Susan, Stephen, the whole family, Kimberly, Ben, and John. When are you moving? Traveling? Nice. It's a memorial service for Doreen. Not a funeral, but same idea. Let's not forget, please, we'll do Jerome Glasses a week from this coming Saturday at 10:30. And then we have church planter David Wilt coming. He's already started a church in New York. He's working with Brother Barnes, by the way. He asked Brother Barnes if he would change from New England for Christ and make it Northeast for Christ. And Brother Barnes agreed to that. So he's working with him on that, on these crusades. Good man, David Wilt, very good man. And so he'll be with us June 1st all day. We'll have a dinner after the morning service on June 1st, and then have the 2 o'clock service. I'd like to have at least 4 of these types of services. We already did one in March, now one in June, so we're halfway there, and we'll get to the halfway point. Gentlemen, please sign up for the steak dinner. We'll get the sign-up sheet next week, and also bring friends. Bring some friends. Doesn't have to be unsaved. They could be unchurched, and they may be saved. So bring them if you would, please. $25. And ladies, you're meeting at Mariela's home on June 19th. Vacation Bible School, July 7th through the 11th. We worked it out, and we have all of you still here. That's what we do. We start talking, who's going to be here, who's not going to be here, who wants to be here. And we hear about how you want to be here. We try to work that in. And we have to work it around Central because we always borrow their van. And we have to work it around High Point because we always borrow their van, their bus. Okay, thank you. We're in Proverbs, please. Receive, if you would, please, Brother John. If you'll pass a handout out. And we'll start in Proverbs 27. If you turn there, please, and we'll go ahead and read our introduction. We're looking at the material possessions. Do they master us or do they serve us? And hopefully during these lessons, you're seeing and you're discovering if indeed they're mastering you or they're serving you. Own things, but, what's the statement? Own things, but don't let them own you. Don't let them own you. We're looking at covetousness and greed now. This is the third lesson under this category. Do they master us or serve us in our material possessions? Let's go ahead and read our introduction, please. Mankind is naturally inclined toward covetousness. Let's see that in Proverbs 27:20. I believe you're there. If not, go ahead and turn there, please. That's Proverbs 27 and verse number 20. Proverbs 27, verse 20. Our teenagers, Emily and Justin, were instrumental in going around to Country Village and knocking on the doors and getting the kids, rounding those kids up, telling them we're coming, where to meet. Very, very responsible young people for sure. We're looking at, Justin had told me, we're helping a friend clean their pool, and I said, can you do both? And he says, yes, we can. We can knock on the doors, walk back home, and then with her mom go help the person with the pool. So he figured it out. He wants to serve the Lord for sure, and Emily as well. We're going to read now 27:20. Mankind is naturally inclined toward covetousness, and we see that in 27:20. Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied. What a statement that is, huh? Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied. Warning is given, we're back to our introduction, please. Warning is given in the 10th commandment of the 10 commandments, but the principle is seen back in Genesis when murder was committed in the very first family. Cain slays his brother Abel because of covetousness. When we read Jeremiah says the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Can you imagine that? We can't even get out of the first family without a murder. That's amazing when you think about it. How in the world a brother murders a brother? And because he didn't like it, he could have got. What was the reason that he killed his brother? Please. Okay. And what was the issue? Right. The offering, and God rejected whose offering? Cain's, because what kind of offering was it? Right. Wasn't his best one. And it wasn't Cain's wasn't the best one. Abel's was a sacrifice of what? With what? Blood. Blood. So why didn't he just say, okay, God, I'll correct this? Isn't that something? He said, I'm not going to correct it. I'll correct it, all right? I'll correct it my way. I'm going to kill my brother. And so God said, the blood of your brother is what? From the soil. Yes. We continue on, please. I'll read that statement again so we have continuity. Warning is given in the 10th commandment of the 10 commandments, but the principle was seen back in Genesis when murder was committed in the very first family. Cain slays his brother Abel because of covetousness. The book of Proverbs alerts us of the dark side of this sin that imprisons and destroys many. The book of Proverbs overwhelmingly shows us the negative side of covetousness, with warning upon warning of its dangers. I want you to let that sink in, please. So when we're doing this study, you're going to see it, every verse that we're going to cover. The book of Proverbs overwhelmingly shows us the negative side of covetousness, with warning upon warning of its dangers. Only until the end of Proverbs do we see a strong commendation and promise to those who oppose it. And let's see that in 28:16, please. Okay. Did you grab them off the... Oh, somebody did that. Somebody had well intentions, I guess. No, they should have been over there, and then... That's all right. Yeah, by all means, just... You're not going to offend me. Pastor, what are you reading? I got my vowels. All right? So just stop me. Just stop me. If I have the wrong verse, just stop me. It's not a problem. Okay. Very good. So we're looking at 27:20, and then we looked at 28:16. Let's finish off with 28:16, please, and you can catch up, those of you who had the wrong one. Thank you for clarifying that, please. I want to make sure that's what I want. Yes. The prince that wanteth understanding is also a great oppressor, but he that hateth covetousness shall prolong his days. That is probably the strongest. There's only 2 verses that are dealing with the word covetousness, and that is the strongest, and we're looking at that as the strong commendation now. So we're going to see just the negative side, the ugly side, but I didn't write Proverbs. The Holy Spirit did. So he wants us to see the ugly side, the negative side of covetousness. And we see it ends again with verse 16 on the positive. So it's overwhelmingly negative. The prince that wanteth understanding is also a great oppressor. But he that hateth covetousness shall prolong his days. Okay. I left 21, 25, and 26 on there, and we're going to see where we're going to use 21, 25, and 26 in the next lesson, but let's look at this now. We're going to see the second and only time we see covetousness or covet, those words. The desire of the slothful killeth him. That's on your handout, 21:25. The desire of the slothful killeth him, for his hands refuse to labor. He coveteth greedily all the day long, but the righteous giveth and spareth not. Okay, let's look at this, please. Covetousness and greed are self-destructive. We want to begin in 28:20. You're right there. And we want to break these verses down. So we're going to look at verses 20 through 22, and we'll break these down in 3 subpoints. The first subpoint is punishment of dishonest dealings. Let's read 20, please. Proverbs 28:20. A faithful man shall abound with blessings, but he that maketh haste to be rich shall not be innocent. Punishment of dishonest dealings. We're looking at the smallest of bribes can corrupt. 21, please. To have respect of persons is not good. For a piece of bread, that man will transgress. So we're looking at the smallest bribes can corrupt. Each and every one of us. So you ask yourself a question: can you be bought? Can you be bought? What would it take? What would it take you to be bought in temptation and to yield? So he's saying here, just a small piece of bread, even the smallest bribes can corrupt, because people just can't get away. Because covetousness, as we saw here in the introduction, we are naturally inclined toward covetousness. So what would it be? What could take place at work that you would not uphold justice and holiness? What could take place? That's for you to figure out. Hopefully it's nothing. Hopefully you'll immediately stand up for right, and you couldn't be bought. We're looking at now number 3. Selfish motives fueling a drive to hastily attain new heights of riches will bring him to want. That is 28:22 now, please. He that hasteth to be rich hath an evil eye, and considereth not that poverty shall come upon him. We have to believe that. Letter B, please. We want to see covetousness and greed are self-destructive. We see that they result in trouble and in death. Remember now, God so chose to look at this topic and for us to see the negativity and the negative side of this. So we're looking at the whole family is brought low, 15:27. You've heard it before. You never go it. Say it again. Alone. You don't go it alone. 15:27. Somebody's going to be affected by it. We see it in Proverbs 15:27. Proverbs 15:27. He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house. There it is. But he that hateth gifts, that's bribes, shall live. We move on, please. Sinners. It's the sinner's technique. We want to see the sinner's technique. We're going all the way back to Proverbs 1, and we're going to break these verses down, okay, one at a time. I should have placed in there Proverbs 1:10 through 14, and then 18 and 19. I forgot to put those in, but you see it there. It's on your handout anyway. Let's go to Proverbs 1, please. Let me get there. Sorry. Okay, so notice the sinner's technique, please. So they make sin attractive. Verse number 10, Proverbs 1, verse 10. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. So they're going to entice you, and obviously they're going to make it appealing. They're going to make it attractive. We're looking at now, it's the secretly alluring. Verse 11. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood, let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. There's many people like that. Exaggerated claims, this is what they do. Verse number 13, please. We could read verse 12. Let us swallow them up alive, and that would go with verse 11. If they say, come, come with us, let us lay wait for blood, let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause, let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. Now in verse number 13, if you'll notice letter C, please, in your handout, the exaggerated claims. We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. So we see it, they make it attractive, secretly alluring, exaggerated claims. We see justified in numbers. They want to get a big crowd as they can. You might want to call that herd theology. Cast in thy lot among us. Let us all have one purse. Notice the end game, please. We see this in verses 18 and 19. Here's the end game. And they lay for their own blood. Wow. Let's go ahead and read 15 right into verse 18 and 19, please. Verse 15, my son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. So don't even get on their path. Don't even start thinking this way. Well, let me check it out. Check out this. Check out this website. Check out this thought. Don't even go there. Notice in verse 16 now, for their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. Don't be that bird. And they lay wait for their own blood. They work privily for their own lives. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. And then he finishes off this proverb. We're not going to read it all, but we start off with verse 20. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets. And it continues on talking about wisdom to counteract the covetousness and the greed. We're on side number 2 now, moving quickly. We see the envy of wrongdoers misleads believers. Looking at letter A. Apparent prosperity and success deceives the carnal. Please notice in that subpoint, I want you to see this subpoint again. Apparent prosperity and success deceives the carnal. So if I word it this way, apparent prosperity and success does not deceive, and what would your words be? What would your answer be? Anybody? So if apparent prosperity and success deceives the carnal, this is apparent. Apparent prosperity and success does not deceive the, say it again, the righteous. Who else? You can take just about any of the verses of chapter 8. Wise, yep. But if you take the theme of chapter 8 of Romans 8, what is the theme? Comparison of, say it, spirit and the flesh or the carnal. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded, life and peace. Life and peace, right. So we're seeing then that only people are deceived are the carnal. Is there such thing as a carnal Christian? Indeed. So the carnal Christian could be deceived by this. So it's not the spiritual. He's going to walk away from this and say, I see all the dangers all around this thing. So we're going to read now in Proverbs 24, please, in Proverbs 24 and verse number 19. We're going to break this down now. So 19 and 20, his passions are misguided. So a carnal Christian's passions are misguided. Notice, please, the envy of wrongdoers misleads believers. Is there any excuse to be misled? No, there's no excuse to be misled. If you have some doubts, then just stop what you're doing and get some advice. Just recently, we received, somebody called me and said, I would need your advice, and then I'm going to call somebody else and get advice from this person. Then I said, why don't you make this next call and talk to this third person? So just stop, hold it, just be careful, please. So notice his passions are misguided, and we see that in Proverbs 24 and verse number 19. Fret not thyself because of evil men, neither be thou envious at the wicked. All right, so we're looking at fret, and the definition of fret is don't let it eat away at you, gnaw, irritate, vex you, annoy you. The only people that allow themselves to be irritated and vexed and annoyed and eaten away because of the evil men are carnal. And so what happens here? Fret not thyself because of evil men. How many of you, sometime in your life, maybe it's even now, says, well, I like to emulate this person. Now, that person is one of two people, according to Romans chapter 8. They're either or spiritual. All right. So now you say, okay, I want to emulate this person. I like to be like this person. All right. Who is that? Don't answer it. But who is that? Then you decide. Is it easy to be envious of sinners? It could be. It could be. Psalm 73 talks about that. Because it seemed in Psalm 73 that nothing is going wrong with these evil people and everything is going right for them, and they're still making their money, and they're still without any repercussions. Until the psalmist says, until I went to the I almost read 73 today, and in my Bible reading, Psalm 73, until I went into the sanctuary of God, then understood I their end. The sanctuary of God is the alone place, the quiet place. So until he had gone to the sanctuary, he said, wait a minute. He's realizing that the slippery slope that these people are on. So be careful, please. What is gnawing at you? Who do you want to be like? What drives you to, I don't know if I go this far, but maybe that you honor and take pride in. You want to be like that person. I'm looking for a specific word here. That they're your hero. Mm-hmm. Steve Muzeka, right? His steadfastness. So then we're going to see that joy and prosperity will be extinguished as we read this. So his passion is misguided, and joy and prosperity in verse number 20 We're again in 24:20. For there shall be no reward to the evil man, the candle of the wicked shall be put out. And we're looking at the candle as being joy and prosperity. We're also seeing their values and methods are offensive to God. We see this in 3 verses in Proverbs 3:31. Proverbs 3:31. Here in Proverbs 3:31, that should be 31 through 32. And we're going to see this first of all. They must be wholly rejected. So their values and methods are offensive to God, and they must be wholly rejected. We're going to see this in 3:31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways, not even some of his ways. Not choose a select few, no, none. So we have to reject them wholly. Notice in verse 32, froward should have come under number 2. I have it sandwiched between 1 and 2. Because they are wholly rejected by God. That's why we wholly reject them, because God's wholly rejected them. For the froward is an abomination to the Lord. So he's totally rejected them. But his secret is with the righteous. So let's look at the definition of the froward. That definition is stubbornly willful, contrary to reasonableness, twisted, corrupted, turned from right to wrong. So they're deliberately turning from right to wrong. So God rejects them. That's why we have to wholly reject them. Letter C, their companionship subverts godly character. We're going to break this down, please. First of all, we see it in Proverbs 24, Proverbs 24, verses 1 and 2. Proverbs 24, 1 and 2. Let's look at reject their company, then we're going to see their person is corrupt. But first of all, we have to reject their company. Number 1, Proverbs 24, 1. Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. You got to reject their company. You got to move on. Notice also their person is corrupt in verse number 2. For their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. You eventually figure that out, especially if you're close to these individuals. You're going to figure it out, because look what the Bible says there. Their lips shall talk of mischief. We also want to see in 23:17 how this is broken down in Proverbs 23:17. And we see this, the means to thwart them. This is how you do it. It's pretty simple. Let not thine heart envy sinners. All right, so it has to be the law of replacement. So you're not going to envy sinners. Be thou in the fear of the Lord all the day long. For surely there is an end, and thine expectation shall not be cut off. There it is. The fear of the Lord. That's how you handle it. We're moving on now to letter D. In letter D, we're seeing the added complication. We see this in Proverbs 13, please, and verse number 7. In Proverbs 13:7. We were with bringing Leah and Michaela and Solomon to church tonight, and we were talking, and I said, boy, that's interesting. We were talking about something. I said, something from my childhood's come up, and this fits perfectly to covetousness. And would you know, I forgot. Can't even remember what it was. Maybe if I ask them, they'll remember. The added complication, please. Notice, please, pretending to be rich. This is so sad. This is so sad. Here's the complication. Pretending to be rich, pretending to be poor. I don't know if you know anybody like that, but I've met people like this before. We're going to look at Proverbs 7, the very first part of Proverbs 7. That's why we're calling it 7a. Proverbs 13:7. Sorry, let me get there. I'm in Proverbs 7. 7. Proverbs 13:7. Notice. There is he that maketh himself rich. Wow. Yet hath nothing. Pretending to be rich. There is he that maketh himself poor. Yet hath great riches. You probably see this. Remember, if you go back to how they're it affects the whole house, the whole household. I'm looking for that right now. How come I can't find that? We just discussed it, how you don't go it alone. Where is that on our handout? We don't go it alone. That's the thought, but how it's going to affect your whole home. Pardon? Letter B, Roman numeral number 1? Yeah, there it is. The whole family is brought low. 1527, right. So there's people that are pretending that they're rich. Maybe about a car they're driving. They're not rich at all, but the car they're driving, it makes them think they're rich. The clothes that they're wearing, it makes them think they're rich, but they're not. And they're really bringing everybody down. I remember, Sean, you saying to me last year something about these little sneakers. And you remember that conversation, the sneakers, and they were like $150, and parents are buying these $150 sneakers. Yeah, okay. And how did you put it? You could have bought how many sneakers? Yeah. There it is. 6 of them with, yes. So at the time those Jordans were worth, there's 200 times 6. There you have it. Pretending to be rich. The Bible says it right there. There it is, right there, right in front of our eyes. There is he that maketh himself rich, yet hath nothing. So from the clothes they drive, from the vacations they're going on, getting in more and more and more and more into debt. Somebody just told me about that recently. How I think it might have been you too. Yeah, he told me about this person going on vacation, spending all this money, and didn't really have it. I'm almost positive it was you, brother, but it doesn't matter. But we know that people do this, right? Oh, you do it. So, it's because of covetousness. It's about image. Image is everything, right? Remember Agassi, the tennis player, and he was promoting the camera. Maybe it was a Canon, and the Canon camera was called, you remember? Rebel. Agassi was a rebel. You ever remember him on the court? I mean, man, that guy was furious. McEnroe was furious too, but just angry and frustrated, yelling at the umpires, oh, you blind, you blind, you blind. So we see that image to some people is everything, but not to God. God says he hates it. And then we see pretending to be poor. The last part of of verse 7. Let's read it all. There is that maketh rich, yet hath nothing. There is that maketh him poor, yet hath great riches. We had worked for a guy. Yeah, it doesn't matter. This guy had a lot of money. We were working for him with the company I was with Community Systems, and we had a work crew, and so we would go all the way down to Westbrook. And this guy had a lot of money for sure. And he boasted about knowing the Bible and things, but he honestly could have paid us a whole lot more. He was a millionaire easily, many times over. Pretending to be poor, pretending to be rich. We got plenty of time. It's 8:06, and we can go ahead and have substantial time in praying for these requests that we just named. And so let's do that, please. And you guys can't start cooking the s'mores until we're done praying. Text Taylor if you got that. We're holding them accountable right now, right? All right. Let's go ahead and do that, please. Let's go ahead and break up in groups of 2 or 3. And we'll go ahead and pray for these requests right now. And then somebody will come to the pulpit, close in prayer, as you know. We'll be done this evening. Thank you. Not a problem. Thank you. Thank you very much. No, thank you very much. This is who?
Her mom's cousin.
Your mom's cousin.
Yeah,
Okay.
he had surgery, and I guess his bleeding coming down.
Okay. All right. We're all in one accord this evening. I heard you're going to go into the ocean water dessert. I heard you're going to try that Maine water. We want to know if you did. I know Johnny L probably did. It's got to be awfully cold up there, huh? Oh my goodness. That's the polar bear plunge. That's what that's all about. All right, let's do it. Go ahead and break up, please. You guys want to cross over? You two, you two, you three, you two. We're good. What's that? No, he can just slip that way. You two there, those two right there. You guys come forward. Yeah, just to kind of get away. No, I mean, so other prayer groups, like the ladies next to you. So that's perfect. You two right there, you two there. We're good. You three right there, you're good.
I thank you for the blessing that we have here tonight, Lord, that we can come into your house, Lord, and hear your word, Lord. Lord, I thank you for prayer, Lord. Lord, I thank you that you answer prayer, Lord. Lord, I pray for this evening, Lord, as we go about our ways, Lord. Lord, help us to stay safe, Lord. Lord, I thank you for the children that came tonight, Lord. Lord, I thank you for the teens that came tonight, Lord. And Lord, I pray that we just continue to grow in your word, Lord, and continue to follow you the rest of this week, Lord. And Lord, I pray that you help us to come back here Sunday, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.